With the NBA season just a few weeks away, today I want to make some bold predictions for the upcoming season. So if you guys like my content, make sure you like and subscribe. We're on the grind. We're posting basically every single day. So if you guys like that, smash that like button. Let's try to get 24 likes on today's video, and let's hop into it. Now I need to make this clear. These are bold predictions, meaning while the odds might not agree with me, I truly think some of these will come to fruition. The first of my predictions is that John Wall and Kevin Durant aren't going to be nearly the players we remember on the court. Now, it's not just that these players are returning from injury. We see successful returns every single year, but it's the specific injury that they both share, an Achilles tear. This injury is consistently cited as the worst injury a player can suffer, and that's for good reason. Let's take a look back at some of the most notable players that have suffered this injury throughout history. Yes, there are some success stories, such as Dominique Wilkins, who came back as a very similar player as before. But for every one story like this, there's 10 of the exact opposite. But just looking at some recent examples, it's extremely concerning. In 2013, Kobe Bryant was averaging 27 points a game, but would end up suffering a torn Achilles at the end of the year. Once returning, he was a shell of his former self, shooting below 37% from the field in his final two seasons. Yes, Kobe was older than both Durant and Wall now, but if you're going to attribute that significant of a fall off purely due to age, you're just being foolish. In 2017, we saw Rudy Gay suffer a torn Achilles in the middle of a season where he was averaging 19 points a game, and he'd been an 18 to 20 point scorer for practically every season in his NBA career. Since returning from injury, his averages have gone down to just about 12 points a game. This is actually an interesting comparison to Durant, because while Durant is on a whole nother level as a player, he actually compares pretty nicely to Rudy Gay. They both have a similar reliance on athleticism and suffered this injury at practically identical points of their career. The latest big name to go down with this injury was DeMarcus Cousins, possibly the most dominant offensive big man in the league at the time of his injury. He would see his averages go down to just 16 points and 8 rebounds the following year. And yes, while he joined a loaded Warriors team that didn't have many shots to go around, it was extremely evident we were never going to see that same DeMarcus Cousins. So while I think both Durant and Wall can be very, very solid players this year, it would be absolutely shocking to see these guys return like nothing happened. Wall's a guy that's built a career in major part due to his athleticism, a part of his game I can almost guarantee will be hindered. So when you want to project the season out for the Rockets, be very careful with your expectations of the former #1 pick. The big defense to Kevin Durant is his play style that many think won't be affected as greatly as others by this type of injury. And while I don't completely disagree, it's really hard to imagine Durant coming close to the 27 points on practically 50, 40, 90 he's averaged for his career. My next prediction is that the Rookie of the Year will be won by a non-top 3 pick in this draft. And this is definitely a bold prediction, as most years this award is won by a top pick for obvious reasons. Now, I want to make it clear that all the top 3 picks have pretty solid odds individually, but I just feel considering their individual situations and just how many guys I think can contend, I think the chance this happens is a lot more than people realize. We talked about LaMelo Ball's situation in a recent video. Yes, he's super talented, and he's going to have a chance to show that. I just think there are some things holding back his opportunity. The obvious thing that jumps off the paper is the fact that the Hornets do have 2 solid point guards on this roster with Devontae Graham and Terry Rozier. I also think there's a very solid chance that LaMelo does struggle with efficiency early on in his career, which is going to hinder his Rookie of the Year chances. If anyone has the best Rookie of the Year odds, in my opinion, out of the top 3 picks right now, it's Anthony Edwards. He's walking into a situation where I think he fits pretty nicely. Assuming we don't see a breakout of Jarrett Culver or Minnesota tries to get Ricky Rubio in the starting lineup, I think Edwards will have a starting spot this year. Yes, there's not a ton of offense to go around with Cat and D'Lo, which is one of the reasons I like some other rookies' chances, but I think we're going to see him on the court enough to contend. The last of the top 3 picks is James Wiseman, who I think is going to have a great year, but I think a lot of that is going to do with the fact that he's not going to be asked to do too much. The Warriors sadly lost Klay Thompson, but this is still a team that is going to try to be a playoff team this season, and they're going to count on James Wiseman to hold down the paint. It's just, I can't really see him putting up Rookie of the Year caliber stats right now or where I project his role in the offense. Now, as far as some non-top picks that I actually think can contend, there's quite a few. You've got Obi Toppin. I think this one's pretty obvious, and that reflects in his Las Vegas odds, currently giving him the second best odds at this award. There are more than enough minutes to go around in New York, and if he's a talent we all hope, he's going to have more than enough opportunity. I'm excited to see what Obi Toppin does in his rookie year. Personally, I'm big into sports cards, and I plan on going very, very heavy on Obi Toppin. Then you've got Killian Hayes. The Detroit Pistons have nothing to compete for. The focus is going to be on their young talent, and Killian is in prime position to put up numbers. I want to make it clear that when talking about this award, we're really looking at the combination of both opportunity and talent, as in almost every single case for this award, it is based on statistics. There's also some other guys that I think with surprising production are going to be in the conversation. You've got Isaac Okoro. It looks like he's going to have a very solid role. Same thing with Patrick Williams and possibly Cole Anthony. As the title says, these are bold predictions, but leading up to the season, I'm liking this take. My next prediction is another award one, and it's going to involve the MVP award. This one is very similar to the last one, as I think the MVP is going to go to a player without top 5 odds. Currently, Las Vegas is giving the top odds in order to Luka Doncic, Steph Curry, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and Kevin Durant. AD, LeBron, and Kevin Durant, they're all tied, so technically this is 6 players. The rationale for Davis and LeBron not being able to win this season is the same I had last year. While they're both probably going to be at an MVP caliber level and very well could be the top seed in the Western Conference, it's just hard to give it to one over the other. Then you've got Giannis. Yes, he's going to have a very, very strong case, a similar case to what he's had the past 2 seasons, but voter fatigue is a real thing, so it's just hard to imagine him being able to win 3 years in a row. For Kevin Durant, I think I already made it pretty clear that I'm not very, very bullish on Durant being that MVP caliber level player as of right now. Then you've got Stephen Curry. Now, I don't mind Curry being up here. I think 2 is pretty high for Las Vegas. It's hard to see him having enough stats or team success to take home an MVP separated from his past MVP runs, which is a thing we just haven't really seen often in NBA history. Now, Luka Doncic is a player that I actually think has a real shot. I think the Mavericks could manage a top 5 seed this season, which isn't usually enough for this award, but with Luka's stats and his narrative, I think he should be the odds-on favorite. Just don't think the gap is as nearly high as Vegas suggests. So considering I'm only really confident in 1 out of the top 6, I like my prediction of a surprising MVP. There's a lot of guys that could jump into the running. You got Nikola Jokic. The Nuggets are a team that could very well be the top seed in the Western Conference, something that's going to really help the best player on that team's MVP case. You've got guys like James Harden, who, yes, might not be on a top team, but we know can put up some crazy, crazy stats and put him in the conversation. You've got Damian Lillard, Joel Embiid, Kawhi Leonard, all players that could be on top teams and playing at an MVP caliber level statistically. We could also see a breakout. It's very well in the possibilities that a guy like Jason Tatum takes a huge jump and is a part of a Celtics team that could be the top seed in the Eastern Conference. There's guys like Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell, it goes on. Yes, it's hard to project those guys as MVP caliber level players right this minute, but every single season we see guys take that jump. So individually, I don't think any of these guys that I just mentioned have great odds, but collectively, compared to the top 5, I think they do. My next prediction involves the NBA draft, and that's that the Oklahoma City Thunder will get Cade Cunningham in 2021, whether that's with their own pick or not. I haven't been more confident in a prospect in a very, very long time. Cade Cunningham is the real deal, and when it's all said and done, he will be the consensus top pick in the draft. Now, this one might be kind of biased because of my opinion on Cunningham and the fact that I am a Thunder fan, but hey, these are my predictions. The Thunder are going to be one of the worst teams in the league next year. They could flat out have the #1 pick, but with the assets they have in hand, I think whether they have it or not, they're going up. The Thunder aren't acquiring all these draft picks, an historic amount of these draft picks, to use them all. They're going to have 2 other first-round selections in this draft alone. They start the rebuild off beautifully, building around Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Cade Cunningham. My last prediction is that we see James Harden traded this year, which by itself would not be a hot take, but I don't think it's going to be the 76ers or Brooklyn Nets. With everything that's happened, I just can't see Harden staying on this roster for the whole season unless somehow John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins turn back the clock and this team is the real deal, which I just don't see happening. I think he's gone. You've got the 76ers. Yes, it's his desired location, but Daryl Morey claims that he's not going to let go of Simmons or Embiid, and if that's the case, I just don't see how they get something done. You've got the Brooklyn Nets, a team that's been rumored for a while. I just don't see how they can get the right package together. So I think this Harden trade situation is gonna heat up. When it's all said and done, I think a lot more teams are gonna jump into the conversation. You've got the Golden State Warriors, who reportedly called the Houston Rockets about Harden earlier in the month. There's teams like the New York Knicks and Toronto Raptors that are gonna come with a good package to the table and could get it done. So as of right now, these are all my bold predictions. I want to know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. If you liked the video, make sure you like and subscribe. And the shoutouts are gonna be Isaiah, AC, Tyler, Hot Takes, and Jane. If you guys want to shout out in the next video, all you gotta do is like the video and comment liked, rep notification squad, or be one of the first to comment on the video, and I'll shout 5 of you guys out. With all that being said, hope you guys have a great day, and peace.